Today's topic is indispositions and the removal of their cause. Dr. J.T. Kent's view. Okay, what is his view on this? So let us begin with the first slide. So let us start with understanding what does the word indisposition mean. Okay, so the indispositions are said to be apparent diseases. Okay, they are not the true diseases, but these are apparent diseases which are only disturbed states. Then Master Hahnemann first writes about indisposition in footnote to aphorism 7. Okay, so this is very important for us to remember. It is not necessary to say that every intelligent physician would remove this exciting or maintaining cause, also said to be as causa occasionalis, where it exists. The indisposition thereupon generally ceases spontaneously. So, what does this mean that if you remove the exciting cause, you remove the maintaining cause, the indisposition goes away. So, let us understand more about exciting causes. So, these could be anything such as business failures or, depression, tribulation, somebody who is depressed, feeling depressed, or unrequited affection, which is producing suffering in young girls, etc. But we know that exciting causes can cause disease. Yeah, they can cause acute diseases. Then how do you differentiate it with indisposition, right? So this is the question that arises. Indispositions only imitate miasmatic manifestation, but as soon as you remove the external cause, the state of health of the patient is brought back. So these are the, this is something which imitates miasmatic disease, but it is not a miasmatic manifestation. And once you remove these causes, this external cause, then the state of health is retained back in the individual. So, external cause bringing indisposition. Let us go further. So, when we say that they imitate miasm, it means that an individual or a person who is a psoric individual, when the external cause affects the person, his external causes does not inflict psora upon him. Okay. So, what would happen is that if a person is acted upon external causes, it would not mean that the psora is inflicted upon him or brought the psora state or miasm is surfaced upon, you can say. So let us understand with an example. So due to any external cause, the person's stomach may get upset, say due to eating something that is spicy. This would create a state of indisposition in him, and when the external cause is removed, then usually the indisposition will heal or go away on its own. Okay. But now let us try to understand further. How do we discriminate between the causes that are apparent or external from the truer causes of disease? So, if there was no presence of deep miasmatic influence in his body, first of all, he would be able to throw off all these business care. If anybody would, because of some bad influences that he might be having in his office or in his business, he's having some downfall or anything, any worries, so he would be able to throw them off. He would not become insane from business depression. Okay. And we said earlier, the young girl would not suffer from love affairs or any sufferings that she would be having. So, if this is the case, if there was not a presence of deep miasmatic influence, there would be an orderly state. So, the orderly state of the vital force or of the individual would be maintained. Also, the truer causes of disease are from center to circumference of the sick person. As we all know, that how a disease caused, first there is the vital force that gets disturbed, which is the central disturbance, and then various other, the disease gets seated in various uh, areas of the body. Yeah. So, what Master Hahnemann says is that the indisposition usually yields for itself. That means that it goes off on itself. Or there's one more condition. If the psoriatic condition has been somewhat disturbed, okay, so order can be restored by a few doses of homeopathic remedy. Okay, so now this is something interesting, and let us understand this with an example that Master can give. If a man's stomach is disordered, it will become fine on its own if he stops practicing these things that are causing this. So there could be various causes because of which an individual's stomach would get upset or get disordered. But if his stomach trouble is prolonged, then a few doses of homeopathic remedy will relieve him from this stomach trouble. And as long as he lives in this way, this particular way where he does not let things that are not suited to his stomach, if he stops doing that, if he follows diet, if he follows all the healthy ways of eating, and then what would happen is that he would stop feeling this indisposed state. So removing the occasioning cause, the apparent aggravating cause of suffering. So now let us understand this is also very important. So take an example. There are some girls who are nervous and are so sensitive to flowers that because of strong odor they faint. Okay. So what is, as a physician, what is our duty? So the doctor must ask these strong smelling flowers to be removed, which are causing syncope and hysterical suffering. So whatever is causing this state, it should be removed. The external or apparent cause, sick state, is thus removed, but the cause of her sickness is prior to this. Now this is very important. Master Kent tries to explain that if you remove this external cause, the sick state or the is removed, but the sickness which is there inside of her, if the suffering is in terms of syncope and hysterical suffering is there. So what Master Kent is telling is that the sickness is prior to this. So what is the cause of sickness then? So there is a note mentioned by Dr. Hahnemann which says, in all times the old school physicians, not knowing how else to give relief, have sought to combat and if possible to suppress by medicine. So what the old school physicians did was that they did not know how to give relief. So their idea of treatment was to take a group of symptoms and try to suppress them. Here and there, a single symptom from among a number in diseases. So a disease consists of huge number of symptoms, okay? So they would consider a group of symptoms and they would try to suppress the symptoms by giving a medicine. The old school physicians would consider and take note of symptoms out of many others in the deceased or sick person and try to relieve the patient of that particular symptom by suppressing it with the medicine. He says such a practice where a physician only treats a group of symptoms alone is not correct. Okay? Because why? It has no relation to the man as a whole, and as a homeopath, what is our duty is to treat the man as a whole. So let us understand it with another example. An old school physician who was treating a case of pneumonia made a remark saying that he has treated pneumonia. Then another physician came up and said, yes, of course the pneumonia is treated, but the patient is going to die. So what could be the reasons, okay, of this? Only a group of symptoms were removed, and also very important thing to note was, although one of these group of symptoms were removed temporarily, but the patient wasn't cured. So this is very important. Even though a group of symptoms is removed, it did not mean that he was completely cured. So what do we learn from this? Treatment in the way of treating only a group of symptoms is not based on principles, and if a thoughtful physician looks closely, he will know about its danger. Doing this is very dangerous to the sick person because he would not be cured in the long run. So, mm, the Organon condemns on principle the removal of external manifestation of disease by any external means whatsoever. So this must never be practiced. This is incorrect practice, and Organon condemns such practice which is not based on principles. Okay, and the manifestations of disease should not be removed by external means whatsoever. So consider a case which is psoric in nature, okay, which is psoric, in which there is no external cause or traumatic cause. The patient, even after living an orderly life, not using too much tea or coffee, one who is careful in what he eats and what his diet is, etc., removing all such external things that are the causes of indisposition, still he remains sick and shows signs and symptoms. Okay, so this is the case. Uh, what do we learn from this? Now he is following all the schedule, everything that is in a very orderly fashion, but still he is showing some signs and symptoms in him. So in this case, we have no exciting or maintaining causes of the disease that can be elicited now. The signs and symptoms shown are only outwardly reflected picture of inner disease. So since he is showing signs and symptoms, what do we understand is that he is showing the outwardly reflected picture of the inner disease. The physician must be able to perceive the symptoms that are seen in the diseased patient and give a homeopathic remedy suited in order to relieve it. Okay. When we perceive the symptoms of diseased individual, an image of the internal disorder is presented. So whenever we try to take a totality, we try to individualize a case, okay, according to whatever signs and symptoms that we are getting, we there is an image that is formed of the internal disorder that is occurring in a man. To be able to correctly identify this internal disorder requires both, one is art and another is science. So what do we mean by this? Okay, homeopathy as a science refers to, first, knowledge is relating to the doctrines of cure. So whatever doctrines we are given by Master Hahnemann, so the knowledge is of that relating to the doctrines of cure. Then knowledge of principle or order, that is physiology. Knowledge of disorder in human economy, which is pathology, that is the science of disease and not morbid anatomy. See, this is a very important line which Master Kent tries to tell us, is that pathology, with pathology he refers to the science of disease, okay, and not just the morbid anatomy. And fourth is the knowledge of cure. And art, where from where does the art come? Okay, so art lies in learning to apply these knowledges to cure the sick. So the application is more of a art. So how to be acquainted with a law of cure? A physician can acquire true knowledge by studying the symptomatology of the materia medica, which also helps in studying the nature and quality of diseases. First, the physician must become and gain understanding of the remedy. So what is important for us is that we should gain the understanding of a remedy. Whenever you go through a remedy, the understanding has to be grabbed from all the aspects. Its appearance, how does the remedy appear, what is the source of the medicine, what is the sphere of action, what is the mental makeup of that could be of the patient, what are the symptoms of the remedy in the materia medica. So these are all the various windows through which you could look and study a remedy, its image and its relation to the man in his sickness with symptoms of materia medica. By practicing this, we will become acquainted with the law of cure, and we will also be able to formulate the doctrines by which the law can be applied and used. So what is our duty as a true healer? Okay, we would become successful when we heal first for the love we have for healing. So, as a homeopath, what is the primary aim? Okay, what should be the primary aim? That you should have that love and that desire to, heal the sick, for the love of healing. We must be able to perceive the whole state of economy, how we should be able to see the person as a whole, the sickness as a whole. Okay, and we should be able to perceive the signs and symptoms in terms of this, perceive the nature of sickness expressed in the provings when we read them. When you all go through the provings, especially the materia medica pura, so the whole nature of sickness is expressed in those provings, okay, in various remedies that Master Hahnemann has proved. Then we practice for the purpose of applying our knowledge and performing its use. So that is also how we could become successful, and that is our duty as a true healer. This love for healing the sick will keep encouraging us. So this is what will keep encouraging us, and have that desire in us which would be unstoppable. So this degree of perception will enable him to see the outwardly reflected image. So this is how, if we approach in this manner, then we will be able to see the outwardly reflected image. It is this degree of perception that will enable physician to see the outwardly reflected image. Okay, okay. So lastly, Hahnemann says, in a word, the totality of symptoms must be the principle. So what should be the principle? It should be totality of symptoms. Indeed, the only thing the physician has to take note of in every case. See how beautifully Master Hahnemann emphasizes on this, okay? And what else should we do? And to remove by means of his art, in order that it shall be cured and transformed into health. So we should the cure should be taken place in an order. And what is that? It is the internal order which should be re-established. Okay, so how? From above downwards, within outwards, and in the reverse order of appearance of symptoms. So that is it for today, and thank you very much. If you all have understood, I'll be really glad.